Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. If you will, like and share and comment, or like or share or comment. One or any combination would be wonderful, and I'd be very grateful. And then, if you will, we will be in the ninth chapter. If you are in a place where you are able to join me in the ninth chapter of the book of Acts, beginning in the 36th verse. We're going to divide this in half. Probably should cover the whole story at once, but we'll cover this in two sections. Beginning in verse 36, it says, "Now there was in Joppa." Joppa is a village. If you're looking at a map, it would be northwest of Jerusalem. And there was a disciple named Tabitha, which translated means Dorcas. She was full of good works and acts of charity. In those days she became ill and died, and when they had washed her, they laid her in an upper room. Since Lydda was near Joppa, the disciples, hearing that Peter was there, sent two men, urging him, "Please come to us without delay." And so Peter rose and went with them, and when he arrived, they took him to the upper room. All the widows stood beside him, weeping and showing tunics and other garments that Dorcas made while she was with them. So we're going to stop there, and we'll cover the second half of this story tomorrow, as Paul Harvey calls it, the rest of the story. And so here we see the power of God coming face to face with the power of death, and this is just full out WrestleMania tug of war between the power of God and death here in the city of Joppa. Joppa was a very important city. It was a commercial city, a lot of business there, and there were a number of saints disciples who lived there as well. Again, Joppa, very important city, and very important then to the Christian world, because Joppa was a place where it was a seaport, and so a lot of people and trade came through there. And so as the disciples were there, as these people were coming in, the ships and the business, they had opportunity then to share the gospel and then send them out around the world. And here we have one of the disciples by the name of Tabitha. That is her Jewish name, and the reason there's two here, Dorcas would have been her Greek name, and so that was the reason for the two names. Obviously, a disciple, a follower of Christ, very deeply committed to following the Lord. And it was the type of walk that all of us should be modeling or desiring to have. It was the kind of following of Christ that others had taken note of, that others had seen. Others around her recognized and acknowledged that she was a follower of Christ, and she did things we see here. She made things. She took care of the needy, the widows. Widows in that time would have been especially needy with no husband because of the culture in that time. And so she has not only a testimony, but she has actions that back up that testimony, that she followed through on her faith, that she worked to help others. And then, unfortunately, we see that she died. It appears that she dies just right, maybe in the middle of her ministry. Perhaps not very old, because everyone seems to be extremely surprised and shocked that she would pass away, and the people around her, they're crushed by her death because of her passing. And so the disciples that were around her say, well, let's call Peter. Let's see, what Peter thinks. What can Peter do? We've heard about him here healing the paralyzed man, and let's see if what he could do. We know that he witnessed, he saw Jesus raise the dead, and so maybe there's something he can help us with. Maybe there's something he can do. And so a couple marks here of the believers that's really encouraging and deserve imitating in our life is, first of all, we see the great hope that they placed in Christ, the great hope they had even in the midst of their difficulty in God. That they demonstrated that faith and they put their confidence in Him. And they're not sure what's going to happen, but they take him up to see Dorcas. They take her in, again, they take Peter up when he arrives to show him Dorcas. Take him again to see what he may be able to do. And so again, I want to stop there. We'll finish with the story. Some of you already know how the story turns out, but I want to focus again on what's happened leading up to it. Again, we see the faith, the hope of the believers. We see Peter being responsive, reaching out to help his brothers and sisters in need. Just a great model, I think, of what the church should be and how believers should behave and act and treat others and assist others and be concerned for others, and in the confidence that we place in God in our situations. Again, the hope that we have in Him as we face adversity and difficulty in our life. And I hope you'll keep that in your mind today. All of us, probably before the day's over, at different degrees, are going to face some challenges and some difficulties that challenge us. And I encourage you and challenge you back to keep your hope, keep your faith in Christ, just as these believers did here in Joppa. Have a great day, and we'll see you here tomorrow morning.